For the first time since opening day, the Mariners are over 500 with an insane extra innings win in Cincinnati. Let's talk about it. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Thursday, April 17th, 2025. This is Tiding as Austin Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners postgame show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code Locked On MLB. That's LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off your first purchase. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. Mariners beat the Reds by a score of 11-7 in extra innings today. They were down 7-5 in the top of the ninth inning. Cal Raleigh hits his 8th home run of the season, which ties Tyler Soderstrom at the time of this recording for the league lead in homers. Also his 3rd home run of the series, 2nd series in a row that he's hit 3 home runs. Then Randy Arozarena ties things up with a solo shot of his own. And then the Mariners tack on 4 more runs in extras, with Arozarena accounting for 2 of them. And the Mariners get out of Great American Ballpark with a series win, their 3rd in a row. Lot to unpack here. This was a crazy game for a multitude of reasons. Colby, early game of the year candidate?
Sure. I think it had more ups and downs than the big Astros comeback victory. So, I think overall the game was better. It kind of went from like, oh, here we go again to, oh, the Mariners are going to win this one, to, oh, no, to, oh, okay, I guess we'll do that. And then at the end of the day, they won. So that's the important part here. So I think, this is probably got to be way up there. Not the cleanest game of the year, but certainly one of the more entertaining ones.
And that Astros game that you mentioned was another day where we did a postgame show. The Mariners are giving us a lot to talk about on these postgame shows here to start the year, even when they lose. So, what's your first reaction to the win?
The offense was really good. Again, it's been a continuing thing so far, really, since they managed to scratch out enough runs to beat Tarek Skubal at home. The offense has been really solid. They've certainly had some bad games in there, but they've also had games where they've scored, 8, 9, 10 runs. Today, 11 runs. They've had some lows, they've had some real highs, but for the most part, they've been really consistent, and they're showing up every night and scoring 3, 4, 5 runs a night with some consistency. So that's certainly good news. That's what you want from an offense. You want, and we talked about this last year, is that you just can't go into these month-long slumps where you're struggling to score 3. Right now, the Mariners are consistently scoring at least 3 and usually 4 or 5 runs like that. And with your pitching, that's almost always going to be enough. Now, the pitching recently has been okay, but not anywhere near what we were hoping it would be. And today, after being rock solid for the last week and a half, the bullpen finally just collapsed on itself. And that's going to happen at some point, especially when they're having to cover as many innings as they are, even with all the off days mixed in. But the offense is able to pick up the slack. And this is really yet another instance of the Mariners pitching being like really bad and not giving you much of a chance to win, but the Mariners offense finding a way to keep you in the game and giving you a legitimate shot to win. This is probably at least the 4th time that's happened this year where the pitching was really bad, and just last year would have been game over. And this year it's not been. I mean, you think about, the game in Houston that they actually won. You think about the games in San Francisco and Detroit, where, the number 5 spot was terrible and the Mariners offense still found a way to give them an opportunity to win those games. And today it was the bullpen that was terrible, and the offense still found a way to win this game as they score 6 runs in the last, with their last 6 outs.
Once again, I ask, what is it about this spot in the rotation that makes this offense decide, you know what, we're just going to score a ton of runs? Seriously, this is like, what, the 3rd time now? 4th time. Yeah. It's been every single time through the rotation that this spot has come up. They've scored a ton of runs. The night that Hancock imploded against the Tigers, they scored a solid amount of runs. The Giants game that they lost, that Luis F. Castillo started, scored a bunch of runs. The Astros game, they had the insane comeback, and then today, I don't get it.
I don't know. It's tough to say. 2 times at home, 2 times on the road as well. Like not even like the weird home road thing. So yeah, but the offense right now is really on a bit of a heater because the Mariners played so early today. There's only, I think, 3 games in the books right now. The Mariners are, with their 11 runs today, as of right now, are like tied for 11th in baseball with runs scored, which we know is not a category that is, going to be all that conducive to the Mariners ranking well in, because again, they play half their games at T-Mobile Park, and they've still played what they've played now. Was it 19 or 18 games? 20 games? I don't know what it is.
19 games. They're 10 and 9.
Yeah, 10 and 9. Yeah. So they played 19 games, and 13 of them have been in Seattle, and yet they're still scoring runs with some consistency. So yeah, and this is with, again, there's still room to grow just internally with this offense. We haven't seen Julio put it together for more than a couple of games thus far. The team can still be stymied pretty effectively by left-handed pitching for the most part. And Cal was bad for first week and a half. Now he's on a heater right now. Rowdy, you've got nothing out of your first base spot.
Heater feels like an understatement to describe what's going on with Cal Raleigh right now. Like, the dude has hit 6 home runs in 6 games. It's insane.
Yeah, but 2 of those came in 1 game, and he only had 1 hit today. So it's not like he's going 4 for 4 with a couple of bombs every night. So heater feels appropriate. But yeah, you're getting nothing from your first base position right now, and JP is just now starting to kind of put balls in play consistently and find some base hits. So, and again, you're doing a lot of this without Victor Robles, who was kind of one of the main reasons your offense was actually pretty good in the second half of last year. So, I think you look at the offense and you say, look, is this just a hot streak? Kind of it is. But are they doing anything right now that's not sustainable? No, not in the macro sense. They're drawing walks. That's sustainable. They are stealing bags. That's sustainable. They are hitting home runs. That's sustainable. And again, they're not even firing on all cylinders right now. So I think, you should be pretty stoked about the offense. They've been very good lately, and I think they were good. Great again this time around. Will it kind of fall back a little bit? Will there be ebb and flow to this offense? Of course there will, because this is a lineup that is full of pretty streaky hitters. But right now, you only need 2 or 3 of them to be on, and you can stack up a lot of runs. And right now the Mariners have, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 guys who are on a little bit of a heater, and that's more than enough right now as you wait for everybody else to kind of catch up.
Yeah, Jorge Polanco with 3 hard hit balls today. He continues to be incredible here in the month of April. Cal Raleigh again with the home run. Randy Oroza ran a 2 for 4 with 3 ribs, including the game tying home run. He also had 2 walks. He continues to walk a ton. Luke Raley finally gets back on the board with a home run, his second of the year. Nice to see Luke Raley show up today. It's been a while since we've seen that guy show up. Ben Williamson with another hit today. 3 games, 3 hits for Ben Williamson. Nice little start to his major league career. And then Dylan Moore still swinging it really well in the series, 2 for 5 with a hard hit ball. That was, he went to baseball, right? 2 for 5. And the 1 hard hit ball that he had was right to the third baseman. Of course, right? And then JP, like you mentioned, a couple of hits in this one. He had a nice series, a couple of ribs today. Probably the best series that JP's had all year offensively. So good stuff all around. Oh yeah, Miles Mastroboni also 3 walks today. So really just a complete effort from the offense today for the most part. So awesome to see. 11 runs. I mean, that's an incredible day for any offense. So and the fact that they fell down late in this one, it seemed like it was over. It seemed like this bullpen had given this game away after Jake Fraley hits that go-ahead grand slam. Of course, it had to be Jake Fraley, right? It seemed like this one was it was a wrap. And then a couple pitches later, never mind, right back in this thing. Casey Legamina with a great ninth inning against his former ball club, and gets that thing to extra innings, and the Mariners are able to rattle off some runs there. And that's really the big thing too, right? Like, not only were they able to push one run across the board, they were able to add some insurance. They were able to give Andres Munoz a really comfortable lead to hold there in the bottom of the 10th inning. And he didn't even let the automatic runner cross the plate. So really, really awesome ending to this game. Just a really fun game in general. A lot more fun, admittedly, because they won, of course, but still just a really fun game to watch in general. So all right, we'll talk more about this Mariners bullpen in just a moment. But first, a reminder: this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick and Gametime. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Play high quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. And if you already have a console, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your games or your kids' games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Again, that's Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. There's nothing like the energy of an MLS match, the chants, the atmosphere, the last-minute goals. If you want to experience it all live, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLS tickets. Plus, ticket prices actually drop as kickoff gets closer, so you can score amazing seats at a great price. I love that I can see the exact view from my seat before I buy, so there's no surprises when I get to the stadium. Gametime also has event cancellation protection and even job loss assurance, so I can buy with confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners postgame show following the Mariners 11-7 extra innings win over the Cincinnati Reds to win their third series in a row. But this thing got pretty ugly there for a little while after the bullpen took over for Emerson Hancock. In the sixth inning, they issued 6 walks to Reds hitters. And that finally came around to bite them when Edward Bizzardo was in the game, gives up the go-ahead grand slam to Jake Fraley. Gavin Lux gets the party going there with another BS hit. That's just that was his MO all series long against the Mariners. Gabe Spire didn't have his best outing. He was only able to get 1 out in his appearance today. Definitely the worst that he's looked all year long, but Colin Snyder was able to come in and clean things up for Spire. But this game kind of showed you what little depth this Mariners bullpen has behind Spire and behind Munoz, and how much of a problem this is when either Spire and or Munoz don't have it, or they're just not available. And so Yeah, I mean Snyder had a good inning, and he's started to look better over his last few times out. And Legumina's looked pretty good in the 2 times that we've seen him. So maybe he's gonna slowly but surely become more of a part of this thing. But not a great inning from Carlos Vargas. This was his first time going back-to-back days. Trent Thornton only faced 1 batter, froze Ellie De La Cruz to get out of a bases loaded situation. Ellie De La Cruz, man, had just a god awful series. I'd be pulling my hair out if I was a Reds fan. But yeah, and then Bizzardo had the really rough 8th inning, so kind of a mixed bag overall for the bullpen. But again, this game felt like a testament to just how concerning this bullpen is once you get beyond Munoz and Spire right now.
Yeah, it's also yet another game where the starter doesn't go more than 5 innings, and so the bullpen is having to cover 4 or 5 innings a night yet again. And we've talked about this over the last couple of days, how like this bullpen's throwing a lot of innings. You're asking this bullpen to do a lot because these starters can't get deep into games right now. And it certainly seems like last night with Miller and today with Hancock, like that was the plan. They weren't going to let him face the top of the lineup for a 3rd time. And they were going to limit their pitch count. But both of those guys had, by their pitch count, they had more gas in the tank to go out and pitch the 6th, and they didn't do it. So this entire series, the bullpen had to cover at least 4 innings, and we started to see cracks in the bullpen last night. Now that was mostly Taylor making his debut, and he was dreadful. No question about it. But today, you kind of go to your 2, your 2nd and 3rd best guy, really, in Spire and Vargas, and they were both really bad in this one. And because they weren't able to complete their inning, you have to go in and you have to bring in Colin Snyder, and you have to bring in Trent Thornton, which means they're not available to pitch the 8th, which means you're going to Pizzardo. So there's a trickle-down effect. Like, I think you would want Snyder, if you're going to use Vargas in the 7th, you would want Snyder to pitch the 8th at that point. And they weren't available because they had pitched earlier because they had to bail out other guys in the pen. So, you get into the situation where the starter doesn't go deep through no fault of his own this time. The starter doesn't go deep. The bullpen can't do their job. They can't finish innings. So now I have to use more guys. And when a bullpen guy can't finish an inning, that usually means that he's created a high leverage spot. So I have to go to a better arm. So when I get into the 8th and the 9th inning, all of a sudden I'm running out Pizzardo and Legumina because I had to use Snyder and I had to use Thornton and I had to use whatever earlier in this game, and somebody's not available today. So it's one of those things. There's a trickle-down effect. When you don't go deep into games and then one reliever struggles, it can completely throw off your entire plan. And like you said, we know that Dan right now doesn't have – he's a high leverage arm short. He needs that extra guy to bridge. And he's been using Spire against the middle of the order. Whenever the starter comes out, Spire's getting that spot, and that means a lot of times he's coming in the 6th. That's fine if he can get through the 6th. If he can't, now you start to run into some trouble. So this whole thing was really just kind of a cascading effect here of guys being tired, guys not having it today, guys not being able to finish off their inning. And it just kept on leading to guys being put in spots that they weren't going to be, they probably weren't going to be that successful in. Now, obviously a guy like Vargas today just flat out struggled. Like there's back-to-back days, first time pitching this year, back-to-back days, and he flat out struggled. And Pizzardo was bad, although hilariously, he only gave up 1 hard hit ball. You can guess which ball that was. So, yeah, and you just end up in the spot where Spire can't finish his inning, Vargas can't finish his inning, and those have been 2 of your 3 best guys this year. And it just creates this cascade effect. Thankfully, give credit to Colin Snyder for cleaning up a mess. Give credit to Trent Thornton, even though he threw a batting practice fastball down the middle and got away with it. Whatever. He cleaned up that mess. And then you got to give credit to Legumina for coming in a tie game in the 9th after you just seized the momentum. And, you're facing the middle of their order. And he goes, was it 1, 2, 3? Or did he allow a hit?
Yeah. He went 1, 2, 3, and he had a strikeout.
Yeah. So, give credit to the guys who had to come in unexpectedly and clean up one of the high leverage guys' messes. They did a good job with that. And then your best guy went out there with a 4-run lead and just shoved. So, it's the bullpen, like we've talked about. They're having to work a lot. Yeah. And in the series, they had to cover a lot of innings again. So Mariners starters need to step up. And it might be time for Dan to push some of these guys to give them that extra inning. Obviously, if a guy's at 90 pitches in the fifth, you probably don't want to push that, but 75 pitches in the fifth, let's go out there. Let's get a little bit more. But also, I don't really blame Dan for really any of the moves he made today. I think his hand was a little bit forced.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, we've criticized Dan a lot, but also when you look at this bullpen right now, again, who do you trust? Like really, truly trust right now outside of Snyder and Munoz?
Spire Munoz.
Did I say Snyder? Yeah, Spire and Munoz. Yeah.
I mean, I still trust Colin Snyder, but
yeah, on Snyder though, that's probably the third guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to throw him into the group here, who do you trust outside of those three guys right now? Like really, truly trust. I know apparently that he trusts Trent Thornton quite a bit, but I don't personally. No. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, how things go tomorrow if it's a close game, because Munoz has gone back to back, Spire's gone back to back, Vargas has gone back to back. They're going to need a deep start out of Brian Wu tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a positive spin here, yes, Spire went back to back, but he only threw 13 pitches today. Yeah. So it's probably too early in the year for them to go back to back to back. I'm sure they want to avoid that if they can, but I think if they have to, they feel like they need to, they can do that. Munoz, I assume, is down tomorrow, and I would assume that Bizzardo is also down, and Vargas. So
yeah, Bizzardo threw 32 pitches. Yeah, we might see a roster move tomorrow. Klein was optioned, so do they have anyone else on their 40-man that they can call up right now? Santos has been optioned. He can't be called back up. Unless there's like a phantom injury.
Right, which slap Emerson Hancock on the IL. But yeah, I don't think so. Nobody comes to mind, but I believe the Mariners still haven't put either Bliss or Robles on the 60 yet.
Bliss is on the 60. Robles is not, though.
Yeah, so they could put Robles on the 60, and then they can call up Fujinami or whatever. Getting to Toronto on one day's notice.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit of a challenge there, but
right now, Jonathan Diaz, Blas Castano, and Taylor Saucedo would be their options on the 40-man roster. So this could be Drew Pomeranz time, maybe.
That'd be my first
Fujinami.
Choice.
Yeah,
my first choice would be Pomeranz.
Jesse Hahn also re-signed.
Sure,
so maybe.
Sure. Yeah. We'll see. They could send Hancock down, but I'm assuming they want him to make the next start as well. The next time the number 5 spot comes up. Well, but they can skip it again if they want.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'll be interesting to see what they do there, because they do have the off day after the Blue Jays series before they go and play Boston, and that Hancock spot would come up against Boston. Do you want him pitching in Fenway against the Red Sox lineup? I don't know. Again, he had a good day, and we're going to talk about Hancock and give him some props here in a little bit. But yeah, do you really want him pitching against the Red Sox in Fenway? I don't know about that. No. So yeah,
so they could reslot, and by the time they need him again, his 10 days would probably be up. So yeah, we'll see what they want to do. But it could unfortunately be Legumina being the one sent down since he has an option left. So if he could unfortunately draw the short straw if they do need a bullpen arm. But I'm assuming tomorrow they're thinking that they'll have Snyder, they'll have Thornton, they'll have Legumina, they'll have Taylor, and I guess if they really need it, they feel like they probably could use Gabe if they had to.
Yeah,
but I think Munoz is down tomorrow. I think Vargas is down tomorrow, and I think Bizzardo is down tomorrow. So yeah. We'll see. I mean, if Wu can go 6 or 7, it might not be a problem. But if Wu can only go 4 or 5, it could be a big problem. So we'll see if they want to make a move there or not. But shaky day for the bullpen, and it's all because of the walks. And you can't walk, guys.
Yeah, it's just not a winning formula. It's just no. I texted you this, like, it's after the Grand Slam when I thought they were going to lose. Like, it's just, you're not going to win many games when your bullpen walks 6 dudes in like 3 innings.
Right. Particularly the way the Mariners bullpen is constructed right now, they don't miss a lot of bats. So they can't even overcome the walk issues because they're going to give up contact. And even if you get a ton of ground balls like the Mariners bullpen does, that's still contact. That's still an opportunity to advance runners, and they're not striking guys out. So yeah, you can't give away free bases. You just can't do it. So we'll see if they want to make a move, but they're handcuffed a little bit, depending on if they want to reslot or any of that. But yeah, my guess is if they do make a move, unfortunately, Legumina will probably be the guy who draws the short straw, even though he's available. I don't think they're going to DFA Bizzardo after one outing.
But I don't know.
I don't think after one outing they're going to do that, because before this he had been totally fine. He was just really bad today, really bad.
So let's talk a little bit about Emerson Hancock, your favorite dude, who actually had a pretty solid day today.
Great guy.
We're going to talk about him in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you pick more or less on at least 2-player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Whether it's strikeouts, RBI, or first inning runs, Prize Picks keeps every game exciting. Building my lineup is easy, and this week I'm picking Aaron Judge for more than 1 home run and Shohei Ohtani for more than 1 stolen base. It's that simple. Setting up a lineup takes less than 60 seconds, and when you win, your payout is quick, safe, and secure. I always take advantage of Taco Tuesday, where Prize Picks offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. Download the app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners post-game show. Mariners win 11-7 over the Cincinnati Reds. And heading into this game, it was like, they're starting Emerson Hancock instead of Brian Wu. They're pushing Wu back to Friday in order to start Hancock today at Great American Ballpark, which, like, of the two options, if you're going to pitch Emerson Hancock, probably would rather have him pitch at Rogers Center than at Great American Ballpark. But they did it. Yeah. And it actually kind of worked out. Now, in the first inning, it didn't look like it was going to.
Did it though, Ty? Did it though?
It did. It did. You know what? I gotta give props to Emerson Hancock. Because
you're weak.
I've talked a lot of mess. Now, let me make things clear here. Today, what happened today does not change my overall opinion about Emerson Hancock. Just gonna make that very clear.
You mean that however, 4A?
Yes. However, today he showed you exactly how he has to operate in order to have success at the big league level, and for me to actually buy into him having some sort of consistent success at the big league level. Today, again, first inning starts off rough. He gets 2 quick outs, and then Ellie singles off of him, and then he gives up the opposite field home run to Hayes, and it's like, oh boy, here we go again. But from that point forward, he had given up 3 hard hit balls in the first inning. He only gave up 1 more hard hit ball the rest of the game. Still wasn't a ton of, swing and miss today. Only 6 whiffs. But he did have 4 strikeouts. Most important thing here, he didn't walk anyone. That's just the 3rd or 4th time that he's done that in a 5-inning or more appearance in his career. 4 hard hit balls. That's the lowest amount he's ever given up in a game where he's gone 5+ innings as well. That's huge. If Emerson Hancock is going to have success as a big league pitcher, he has to do this, because he's not going to get consistent swing and miss enough. So he has to generate weak contact. He has to keep the ball on the ground. And for the most part, that's what he did today. And again, he can't walk guys either. And that's been a problem for him in the past. He's had games where he's walked 4 guys.
Basically what you're saying, he has to be like the 100th percentile of himself to get a big league hitter out.
Can you just give the guy
That's what props? I want from my rotation member. Like, he's only operating at 90% today. Game's over.
Just give the guy some props and move on.
I did. He's a nice guy. I don't know what I just gave him props. He's a nice guy.
Right. Sure.
I've been told. What's interesting about Hancock's start today is actually the pitch mix, because Ty, he finally used his changeup.
Yeah.
Which has long been his best pitch.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I don't want to throw it. Well, he threw it 22 times today. It was the second most used pitch. He threw it 30% of the time. He actually got 3 whiffs on 9 swings. It was the only pitch he threw that had a whiff rate above 25%. And yeah, it was a solid pitch for him tonight. Only one ball, only one of them put in play. 22 changeups, only 11 strikes. But that's a little bit by design. You're trying to get guys to expand the zone on a changeup. But yeah, it was an effective pitch for him. He went 2-seam heavy today rather than 4-seam, trying to get ground balls, trying to pitch below the zone, trying to get these guys to swing at pitcher pitches essentially. And lucky for him, the Reds were more than happy to oblige. And the Reds offense, you wouldn't know it by watching them this series, but the Reds offense has been really bad. It's been one of the worst in baseball this year. And Hancock was able to exploit their aggressiveness, and he got, like you said, a lot of soft contact, a lot of ground balls. And yeah, it's the changeup and the sinker playing off of each other, both down in the zone, trying to get him, trying to move the ball off the barrel, really, is what Hancock's trying to do. Because like you said, he can't strike guys out. Like it's not, we will never see Hancock strike out 10 guys in 6 innings. Not going to happen. He's not that dude. But can he get guys? Can he slowly expand the zone? Can he get guys to chase a little bit, stay out of the middle of the plate, and get the ball, off of the end or off of the handle, and just kind of have that ball moving away from the barrel at all times? Sure, because if the ball doesn't move away from the barrel, Austin Hayes shows you what happens. It's going to happen a lot. So yeah, Hancock has to be darn near perfect with his command and control. And today he was pretty close. Couple mistakes here and there, but even, the best pitchers in baseball make mistakes that they get away with. Sometimes they don't. But Hancock is less likely to get away with his mistakes than Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, et cetera. Right. But yeah, give him credit. 73 pitches, probably could have gone another. Interesting decision by Dan to not ask him to go another. I assume
maybe don't want to push your luck.
Yeah, I assume that's part of it. And also, I believe they took him out of the game right at 3-4-5, 2-3-4. I believe the middle of the order was coming up in the 6th, and they didn't want him to face that.
It was 1-2-3.
Yeah, probably didn't want him to face that for a third time. So, but with your bullpen, kind of whatever. It's worthy of a discussion. But I actually didn't have a problem with when Dan pulled him. No problems with Dan pitching decisions today. Yeah. Going to Thornton to face Ellie with the bases loaded. Dumb, but whatever. I mean,
what other options did he have?
Yeah, at that point, you'd already used Snyder and Spire and all them, but yeah, so whatever worked out. Pinch hitting for Luke Raley in the 6th. After he torched a couple lefties yesterday. Yeah. You want to give him opportunities against lefties?
Donnie Barrels came through with the sack fly, though. Let's go.
That's going to be the lone highlight of his Mariner career
highlights. And then he scared Ellie De La Cruz with his blazing speed.
Yeah,
like I told you before the show, Donnie Barrels isn't because he barrels up the ball; it's because he's barreling down the line.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Buddy. Yeah, Hancock was good, and it's about as good as you can possibly hope for from Emerson Hancock. Is 5 and fly, keep you in the game. Limit damage. He's going to be working around base runners for the most part all day. Get those ground balls, get the ball away from the barrel of the bat. And if you can find a way to get them to expand the zone, even a couple of inches, that's going to help you avoid the barrel and give you a shot to put up a quality outing, which Hancock did today. Would I bank on it happening again and again and again? No, I wouldn't. I would take this nice little start, put it in your back pocket and be like, yay, he did something for us. Great. When is George Kirby starting his rehab assignment?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know right now. But good on Emerson. He actually has an ERA that is not, a year in the future. So good for him. No, in all seriousness, it was a very good start for Emerson Hancock, and the Mariners needed it. The only thing that didn't really go the way that you would hope is that Emerson was only able to go 5. But again, I think that was more of a decision by Dan and company and had nothing really to do with him. So good on Emerson.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners postgame show after the Mariners 11-7 win over the Cincinnati Reds. Hey, We're on Instagram now, or at least, we've always had an account on Instagram, but I'm posting now on there, actually making use of that account. So give us a follow over at Locked On Mariners on Instagram if you're over there. But for Colby Patnode, I'm Tiding Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Tiding Gonzalez, Colby at CPAT11, that's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.